What's going on? It's your favorite Disney dork, Dave. And there's not going to be a lot of, like, my big over whatever in this video. There was a lot of passings last week. Ozzy Osbourne, I remember the TV show, but I was never that into Ozzy Osbourne. Malcolm Jamal Warner, The Cosby Show, The Resident. He was on some other things. But right before we started recording the wrestling podcast last week, Hulk Hogan passed away. And I've been trying to make this video for a couple days now, but I don't know how to feel. I know how to feel. I'm hurt. I'm devastated. It hit me, and it's just becoming more and more my childhood disappearing. I remember Hulk Hogan, red and yellow, eat your vitamins, say your prayers. I loved the NWO. I remember Bash at the Beach, Hall and Nash, Hogan coming out, Hogan joining, Hogan aligning, making NWO. NWO was such a cool and fun thing, especially growing up at that time. You either wanted to be DX or you wanted to be NWO. And I loved the NWO. We went in when I used to work at a Lowe's warehouse, and me and my best friend there went and bought a couple $100 worth of NWO shirts, and we were handing them out to everybody, just as like a, hey, look what we can do. Look how cool that is. But there's a lot of back and forth with the Hogan stuff because of things that were done in the past. And yes, everyone has had stuff in the past. If anybody ever went and knows my past, I mean, I'm not perfect. Nobody's perfect. If everybody ever went and found some of the old stuff I had on Facebook or I had on a different Twitter, I'd probably be canceled too. But like, all my childhood wrestlers are disappearing, and I mean, a couple of years ago in AEW when Brody Lee passed away, like, that was really shocking because obviously he's still real young. Bray Wyatt was super young. We didn't have them for that long. We had Hulk Hogan for a long time, and for him to come out, I understand why it happened, but for him to come out on the debut episode of Raw on NXT and get booed out of the building, I understand. I know why. But I was excited to see him on that show. I can take the wrestler and I can take Hulk Hogan and Terry Bollea and make them two different people. To me, they are two different people. Me on here and me on my wrestling podcast are two different people. The stuff that Hogan did and the stuff that Terry did, I can separate. Some of the stuff that Terry said, yes, it wasn't good, shouldn't have been said. I understand it. But the stuff that Hogan did for the wrestling company, the wrestling world, wrestling fans, yeah, some of them weren't good. The TNA, the end of WCW, the TNA stuff, getting rid of the getting rid of the 6-sided ring. No, 4. Get rid of the 8-sided ring. Whatever it was, I don't remember. But his match with Rock at WrestleMania, where he was the heel, Rock was the face, but then halfway through the match, the crowd started chanting for him. There's the infamous video clip picture of Rock and Hogan standing there, and they look at the crowd because nobody expected the crowd to do that there. That just shows you the power of Hulk Hogan and everything that he means to people. Oh, sorry, babe. I didn't mean to kick you. Um, on SmackDown on Friday, when they started, I knew it was going to be what they did. I knew it wasn't just going to be a in memory of thing, or it wasn't going to be just a quick little thing. I knew it was going to be something like that. I knew it wasn't going to be a whole tribute episode, because they don't really do that anymore. But they came out, Hunter did his little speech, everybody was there, there was legends there next to him. They did a 10 bell count. I started getting emotional during the 10 bell count. But then when they showed Jimmy Hart crying, I couldn't help it. I started crying. I don't care. I'm not ashamed to say it. I looked at Jimmy Hart and he was getting emotional and I started crying. Then they had a little video package afterwards. And then even coming back from commercials, they would have like facts up about Hogan. They would do more clips about Hogan. And like I said, granted, yes, it wasn't a whole episode dedicated to him, but that was enough. That's what I thought they were going to do. And that was really, it was a very good, it was a very nice send off. They brought back some Hogan shirts. If I didn't have, so this is not just an NWO shirt. This is a NWO Hall of Fame shirt with Hogan, Hall, and Nash on the back. If I didn't have this, I probably would get one of them. I don't care. I don't care about because what he said. I don't care about because of what he did outside of the ring. I would get that stuff. I watched a lot of TikToks. I've been watching a lot of stuff on Twitter, reading a lot of stuff on Twitter, watching some reels about it, and there's a lot of mixed emotions, especially from certain people, which I understand. I don't know where I do know where wrestling goes from here, because it's wrestling is just gonna be its thing. But Hogan and Bischoff were making their own wrestling company. I don't know where that goes. They just announced Kurt Angle as a commentator, and I know Hogan was going to be like it was never said, but obviously if you're a wrestling fan, you know Hogan and Bischoff, you know Bischoff was going to be the brains, Hogan was going to be the face. I don't know where that goes from here. And saying this, it's always been, I know I've brought it up a couple times, but we've talked about I try to keep the two channels separate. I know I've been doing it a lot lately where I've been talking about the wrestling channel on here. We've always said, even before our wrestling channel started, that the day of Ric Flair's passing is going to be a real hard one. I don't know about for us, but for me, I never thought about the day of Hulk Hogan passing. I always thought the first one was going to be, I hop on Twitter or I turn on Busted Open and Ric Flair's not here anymore. Like, granted, we've done a video on Sabu. We've talked about some indie guys that have unfortunately left us. It's just Hogan not being here is weird, man. Like, I don't care what anybody says. I don't think we have WrestleMania, or I don't think it lasts as long if Hogan didn't do what he did in the beginning. I don't think we right now, we wouldn't have Jelly Roll competing at SummerSlam this coming weekend. We wouldn't have had Bad Bunny a couple years ago without the rock and wrestling connection from the 80s with Cyndi Lauper, it's not the same, but Mr. T, without the celebrities coming in from the 80s that Hulk Hogan helped to do. We wouldn't have that stuff now if he didn't do that back then. And NWO is always going to be for life. Hulk Hogan is always going to be in wrestling on past this. I was watching a little bit of Kevin Nash's video because he has a podcast and he was talking about Hogan, and I couldn't. I only could watch so much because it still doesn't seem real to me. I was listening to stuff on Busted Open, the couple of the wrestlings, and it's really hard listening to some wrestlers talk about it because it just I don't know. And I know I'm rambling, and it's gonna stay in because I don't want to edit this. I want this to be like a raw, real video.
Little girl, what are you doing?
Nolly, you're being crazy. But I just wanted to come on and express my own feelings about Hulk Hogan and his passing and how much the wrestling world is going to miss him no matter what happened. I'm a Hulkamaniac. I'm a Hulk kid. I've always tried to. When I was little, I remember trying to rip the shirt all the time. It never happened. It never worked. I never ate my vitamins. I said my prayers. I never ate my vitamins. But I just wanted to come on and give my gratitude to Hulk and thank him for everything that he did for wrestling. And even Hulk. I used to watch Hogan Knows Best. I remember his old movies. I keep forgetting the name of it, but there's one where it's like Islands in the Name or something, and I used to watch that movie all the time when I was a little kid. Thank you, Hulk, for everything you did for wrestling, for everything you've done for me. Thank you, Terry, for being Hulk Hogan. We're going to miss you. We already do miss you. You won't be forgotten. And I just wanted to do a little moment at the end, a little moment of silence at the end for you. I think there's only one way to end the video.